Okay, so now it's the morning. I got to bed by 4:15, about 4:30 by the time I maybe fell asleep. Thanks for keeping me company, April. Actually, I had a blast last night. I mean, that was a 3-hour and a bit wingdinger, eh? So anyway, being that you mentioned the pond, I have no energy. As strange as this sounds, I have no energy because of the canning into the wee hours of the morning, right? I mean, the burner didn't get shut off until 3 a.m. And then by the time I got into bed, it was 4:15 going on 4:30. So, because I ate, people. I had something to eat, right? I had, what did I eat? I ate 2 eggs, and I had a bowl of noodles, and a glass of milk. That's what I had. So I had to make the noodles, boil the eggs, and then by the time I got into bed, and don't forget I got those slugger cats in the house, so I had to make sure they were in the bathroom. And then, you know, you hear this beeping, you'll hear it beep, 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 beep. That shit starts at 6:30, 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock in the morning, and it goes all day long, front and back. And like it just pierces my ears because of that ringing. And I'm just conditioning myself because it's chilly out here. I've got 3 layers of clothing and I'm cold. But once I start moving around, I'll be okay. And I didn't want to have a hard day, like in terms of physical labor, because I'm tired. But being that you mentioned the pond last night, because I have a choice. I can either bring out the skill saw, cut, hammer, do all that. But technically I'm running a little late because it's about noon now, right? It's noon. I've been up since, well, really, I got woke up at like 7 with this beep, beep, beep crap. And then the kids got up and I was, you know, and then the babysitter came, right? And the kids are gone now, so, right? First hour it was like, and so anyway, I don't really want to bring out the skill saw today and hammer and nail because I want to install those windows, right, in Mr. Lace's lettuce room. But because it's fall now, I've lost 3 hours off my day because it gets dark at 6 instead of, well, 4 hours really, because in the summer you can work till 10 outside, right, before it gets absolutely dark and you can't see nothing. Now it's like 6 o'clock. 5:30, going on 5:30, right? So I lose a lot of time. So for me to start cutting out wire and, you know, and trying to put in windows at noon, I'd be better off to try and fresh maybe tomorrow or maybe Sunday or maybe Saturday and get out at 10 in the morning and get those 2 extra hours because I want those windows in before I call it a day, because otherwise the fucking raccoons and the skunks and everything will be crawling inside, and there's dog food in there, and I don't want them ripping into the bloody dog food. So I have to take out the window, I have to take out the screen and put the windows in all in one day. And that, you know, that's a full day thing, right? When you don't know what you're doing. I'm assuming I can do both windows in one day. That would be great. I might only be able to get one in at one day. It'd take all day just to do that. But then once it's done, it's done. So I'm not going to worry about that today. No, that's not what I'm going to do. And being that you mentioned the pond, well, because it's my, you know, it doesn't matter where I go as long as I'm doing something, right? I've decided that I'm going to get the cement, finish what little cement I have, even though the weather isn't as warm as I'd like it to be, and this is why I want to use up the cement, because the weather is changing. And then once that's done, you know, just jump into the, well, that could take like 2 hours to 3 hours to do, just finish those things. So I don't know, I feel like for as tired as I am, I almost feel like grabbing the fucking shovel, getting in there and continuing sculpting what I need to sculpt, because, you know, if I don't get this lining down and everything down in the next month, it might end up sitting like that, and that wasn't the goal, right? The goal was to get the pond in. So if I spend 5 hours digging in the dirt, basically, that's basically what, and maybe do the bricks another day, maybe just, I don't know what to do. And I have to cut my grass too, the last cut. So there's so many things to do. It doesn't matter what I'm doing as long as I'm doing something. You see, physically, I'm okay, right? That's why I kind of want to do the heavy work first, in terms of digging, just finishing up, trying to finish up so I can get the stuff laid in. So technically maybe what I should do is take out the buckets, right, and dig out a bit more and just kind of move on with it. And then spend 2-3 hours doing that, and then come out here and just do other little things. And like this all needs to be cut back, right? That's because I want it, like, don't do anything. You were up till 3 o'clock in the morning canning, right? You're tired. You were picking grapes for days and days and days in terms of squeezing out the seeds and shit. And, you know, you don't need to stress yourself out. And that's why I don't really want to do the windows right now, because that's can get labor intensive with just the pace of it, right? Whereas cutting down these things, for example, is nothing, right? Just snip, 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 fold it up, throw it into the compost. However, I do have energy to lift a few buckets of dirt, maybe get those buckets out, right? And get it ready to see where I want to go with it. Because I'm not going to know until I get those buckets out and maybe dig out a little more shelving. Because this thing could be in, like, seriously, within 3 days of working on it for 3 days. We're so close with it. I'll bring out the marble and start laying it down, just imagining where I'd maybe like to see it. Right? I haven't I need to start, oh, no. I have to go shopping. I have to buy 14 gauge electrical cords. Yeah. And, or something like that. Yeah. Because I want lights around this, right? So I'm just going to finish my smoke. And then, only reason I got the camera on is because April, you mentioned, oh, how's the pond going? And I really just going to work. And then at the very end, what I'll do is I'll show you how much I accomplished. We'll just do a little walkthrough before I start, right? As soon as I'm done my smoke, we'll do a little walkthrough. We'll look at the pond. And because I'm out here by myself, no kids, nothing, no distractions, I have the doctor you know who is doing her 3 o'clock blah 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 stuff. But I'm not, I've documented the fakery around it so many times. I don't need to continue documenting and drop everything that I'm doing just to prove that I'm right. So I'm going to let that one slide because I'm not inside and didn't happen to catch it. I'm going to focus on what I need to focus on. And then after I'm done and it's starting to get dark, then I'll show you exactly how much I accomplished in a space of 5.5 hours. Because when I came outside, it was like, I don't know, it was like quarter to 12 or something like that. So we're probably at 12:10 now, right? 10 minutes after 12 in the afternoon. And it starts getting dark by 5:36. So that gives me 5 straight hours outside non-stop. No kids, no interruptions, nothing. I probably can get a fair amount done. So if I get in and do the heavy stuff first, right? Work 3 hours with the dirt and the rocks, and then I can ease off and maybe come in here and start cutting down these things right? Just, tidy up, right? Keep moving along. And then tomorrow, maybe tackle the back, because I have to get those windows in, right? And I am going to look for grow lights. As a matter of fact, there's something else I want to order online. So next week I'm going to see if I can find grow lights, and maybe I might just have a set on hand and just put them off to the side somewhere, right? Don't use them. Well, only if you need to, right? That Mr. Lace's lettuce house is too far away yet. It's still in the making stage, right? But you see, the thing is, I couldn't, but you see, here's the thing, and this is why you kind of want to get them now, because when I have everything I need for the pond, basically. I just have to gather it all up. I have the pump, I have the UV, whatever it is, because this is a bigger body of water, so I need to control the algae growth. So I have this little system where the water goes through, and it's got UV lighting in it where it kills the algae, so that when the water goes out, right, it's not, right, it's clear. It's just one method to control algae growth, right? I have that. I have a little, I'm pretty sure I have a little, I just don't know where everything is, because I kind of move things around, and I put some there, and I think I know where everything is. I have 2 different types of lining. I have, like we're talking about the vinyl lining, like the felt lining, right? I have the one that, what is it called? You bought from Home Depot. And then I have another one of this black roll stuff that actually came from movie sets that was donated to me years and years and years ago, and I got some of it around my yard, but I've been leaving the bulk of the roll specifically alone for this purpose. So first the lining from Home Depot, and then the one that I have from the movie set, and then the rubber lining. Have all that. The lining itself, when I bought it, 4 or 5 years ago, the lining, the rubber lining, was like $300. And look how long it's taking me to use it. 3, 4 years later, 5 years later. I have the pump. I have it all. I just have to find it and piece it together. I have the connectors, the hose connectors to make my own filtering system, which I've done over here, and I'm doing it over there. I have all those connectors. It's cold out here. I can feel it. I gotta start moving around here pretty soon. I just have to piece it together. Well, that's what those grow lights are about. I might not use them for a year or 2, right? But there might come a time when, if I can get this little room nice, Mr. Lace's lettuce room made and nicely insulated, and I got the grow lights, I could put the grow lights in next summer, right? And have it for next winter. Because I've tried cold frames. I built a cold frame. One of those YouTube moments where you're watching YouTube and you see them how they make rocket stoves and those kind of things, right? And and do this and do that and blah, right? Well, I seen how they made a cold frame, and what that is a little box on an angle that you put glass on top, and you grow your lettuce, those little things, throughout the winter, because it's a cold frame, right? It's insulated. And the plants, because of the glass, can grow, right? So you can harvest little leaves to eat over the winter. That's the purpose of a cold frame. Well, anyway, I built one of those. It was okay for what it was, I guess, worth. But animals were jumping on the glass, and glass got broken. And long story short, what I've got in that little box now is those red grapes growing in there. I'm not too sure what I'm going to do with them, how I'm going to make them crawl, considering how grapes like to spread out. I want to have them crawl up. I don't know how I'm going to make a trellis for that, but anyway. I can always transplant one or two and put them someplace else because they're red grapes, people. Oh, and they're so, so good. However, the thing about grape seeds is you plant a grape seed thinking it came from a red grape, and it turns out growing green grapes and vice versa, although greens usually stick with greens. But I'm taking my chances. I planted red grapes. I'm expecting red grapes back. But they're more like purple grapes. And they're so good. So, so good. They make the best juice. But you have to let the vine grow for 8-10 years. Right? Before it even produces grapes. So who knows what will happen to those vines. So anyway, I'm definitely going to start looking around for some grow lights for the lettuce room, just whether there's an emergency or not. I mean, obviously they're not going to get installed this year, but they definitely can get installed next year, and if I need them and I want to use that room for that purpose, I can do that, and that's a good thing. So it's important that I get those windows up in the next 3 days because I have childcare right now. I'm paying for childcare, right? I have 5 days booked in. So how I use those 5 days with my energy, I can get a lot done, right? The only thing, I'm not young anymore. I can't do 4 days back to back. I can do 2 days back to back. Sometimes 3, depending on what I'm doing, but yeah. So we're going to start with really heavy shit. I'm going to just jump right into this fucking pond. I'm going to take out these buckets, these rocks, everything. I'm going to grab my shovel. I'm going to grab my stake. I'm going to start chiseling out the sculpture out, the form of what I want on the inside. I'm going to go get those marble slabs, and I'm going to place them down so we have an imaginary kind of what we're doing here. I'm going to get into the area where my fern is being kind of destroyed with these big ass rocks on top of them, and figure out how I'm going to put in a little, what is that called? Waterfall. That's what I'm going to do. And then after I've done that, then I'm going to come and just start picking up some of this foliage, because that's work too, right? You know, that's not easy stuff sometimes. It can get, I have a big yard, people, okay? I have a lot of foliage, right? But I'll just go and snip here, snip there, pull this, pull that, you know, whatever, fill up my compost. And then tomorrow, well, I'm going to see if I can just get out in the back and get onto that lettuce room. Because I'm really looking forward to that. Like, you don't know how much I'm looking forward to that. You have grow lights in there, and you could grow lemon trees. With a nice little heating fan. People out here, my landlady told me, there's one dude out here that has a really, really nice greenhouse, and he grows lemon trees. I started a lemon tree from an organic lemon. I had 1 or 2 of them, but they didn't survive. No. But in a nice insulated grow room outside, they would. Well, that's Lucy. That's Lucy. Like, get in touch with nature, right? Get in touch with, you know, just those little things in life, right? If you can grow a lemon tree, people, why not? Right? I have apple trees growing in the back. April, I'm going to send you some apple trees, apple seeds. Andre's through Andre. They're coming in as art supplies, okay? Because I have to go through the border, right? I have to go through customs. So if I put down art supplies in lieu of the foundation, okay? Because, you know, this is a charitable act. The only thing I'm asking for is shipping in return of stamps, right? That's okay. And that's promoting education with our young people, because, you know, oh, those stamps came from the United States of America. Could you imagine if we got stamps from Czechoslovakia? That'd be cool. That'd be really cool. You know, network with people in Czechoslovakia. We send them something with Canadian stamps, and they send us back something with Czechoslovakia stamps, right? Czechoslovakia stamps, like the good old days back in the day when stamp collecting was popular. That's what we need to get in touch with. Those little things. It doesn't have to be a plant. It could be just something simple like that. Or you know how they used to do pen pal letters, right? Right? Yeah. You see, I'm outside. My nose is starting to run. Wait till I get into the dirt. Then I'm doing those farmer lugers. Yeah. You see how I go from a hot stove with burners, eggs burning on the elements, and you know, that kind of crap, and fucking steam for hours in the air, and yeah. And then I come outside and I'm in the bush and in the dirt and in the mildews and okay, I can't chat no more. I gotta get on it, so we're probably pushing 12:30. So 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30. That's 5 straight hours non-stop. Right? That's what's gonna happen here. And to make it easy on myself, whatever, I'm gonna do my landlady's idea. I've done it before. Only reason I've been squeezing and being so patient about it is because I wanted the pulp for Amari, and then I discovered you dehydrate the two separate, and you can make grape extract. But outside of that, whatever I've got in my fridge, and I've got a big pot, and I got a half a tray of, you know, crisper full of grapes. That's a lot of fucking grapes, and there's still a whole bunch growing. I've decided that I'm just gonna cook them all up, squish them with the potato masher, and you see the rabbit? Maybe not. And what do you call it? Juice them. Only this time, and I'm gonna can them because I have the jars. I'm gonna can them, and but I'm going to try and strain them more this time. See, I've been lazy, and I've been like justifying it by saying, oh, well, you want the pulp because it's extra nutrition. You know, who cares what it looks like? It's all good for you, right? But this time, because I'm just focusing on juice and nothing but juice, because what I find about grape juice when I'm making it, and this is funny, okay? This is funny how, you know, as you're growing up as a kid, and you get addicted to fructose, and you get addicted to ketchup, you get addicted to those brand name staples that have been like introduced into society as a staple, right? When you go to buy grape juice in a can, frozen grape juice, right? You know how you buy frozen grape juice in a can? You pour it into your jug, you put your water in, you mix it all up, and if you think about it, it doesn't have a brown color to it. It doesn't. Why? Because grapes oxidize. And we're talking green grapes, right? Green grape juice. We're not talking red grapes, we're talking green grapes, right? Why? Because when you can it, like I'm doing it, there's a brown hinge to it. And because there's the color brown, that kind of just, I don't know if I want that, right? You know, because, right? You mean by conditioning? You've been conditioned to think that grape juice from a can, concentrated grape juice, green grape juice from a can, when you make it, should be like theirs. When in fact, it's impossible to do that unless you add something to it. You have to add something in order to be able to change the natural color of it, right? And I'm like, well, what could I add in there? Some food coloring? Like literally, I'm thinking, should I be adding some green food coloring to make it more green so that when you drink it, you see the green and your head registers that it's grape juice versus you drink it, you see the brown and you're like, ew, I don't know what I'm drinking. This is things I think about, right? So anyway, you know, I've been bypassing all that. I've been not letting that distract me from doing the right thing in terms of preserving organic food in the form of juice with extra pulp. But because now I don't care anything about the pulp, I'm done with the pulp. Maybe the new batch, I might do another batch for Amari, basically, or for cooking with meats or squash and stuff. But for this batch that's in my fridge right now, hell no. That's going to be nothing but juice, but I'm going to try and take out the pulp. So how I'm going to strain it where there's very little pulp to see if maybe the color changes and becomes lighter, right? Where it becomes like if you were to buy it in a concentrated form in a grocery store. I don't know. So that's my goal. So tonight I'll probably just go, because they've been in my fridge for, what, 3 days now? They need to get out of the pot and be cooked up and have something done with them. So as long as I cook them up tonight, so do you see how I do double shift now? Okay, now we know I went to bed at 4:30 in the morning by the time I fell asleep, right? Woke up at fucking 6:37, basically. Woke up again, got out of bed finally by 9:30, right? And I'm outside by noon, and we know what I'm going to do for the next 5 hours. And then I'm going to go inside, have another coffee, do a little something. She'll bring me the kids, probably around 7 or so, maybe 8, right? Between 6 and 8. So that gives me just a little time for myself, right? And then I'm just going to grab those grapes, people. I'm going to throw them all in my big-ass pot. I'm going to cook them all up. I'm going to start straining them. And then I'm going to restrain them. I'm going to strain them 3 times to try and strain out the pulp so that I get nothing but a nice, clear liquid. And I'm going to do that over the next make the juice, right? Strain it, put it in the fridge, and then maybe strain it again, and then put it in the fridge tomorrow. And then the next day, that's when you can it. And I'm hoping it will be very, very clear. And then in a day or two after that, that's when I phone up my landlady, because I said, you know, you deal with what you got, let me deal with what I got, and then, you know, we'll hook up in another 4 days or so. So in another 4 or 5 days, my landlady will come by, we'll scoop up on what we can scoop up, and then maybe that one I'll do another batch, like what I've been doing in the jars. That's what I'm going to do. So I saved myself a lot of work just by throwing everything into one big pot and cooking it up like that. And then we're going to see what kind of juice we're going to get after I strain it 3 times. And then the pulp, I'll probably just, what do you call it? I don't know. We have to wait and see, because if I get pulp, oh my God, I lost my glasses, people. I can't do shit without my glasses. I had them on, right? Where did I put them? See, that's how blind I am. Right there. Almost stepped on them. If there's any kind of pulp after it goes through the seeds and the skin, I figured I'd take that pulp after I strain it out, and then you'll have a very thin pulp. I figured that's what I'll do with it. I figure I'll take that pulp and those apples, those gala apples that I had done nothing with yet, I'll just peel them, cook them, and throw that grape pulp into that, and then mix them up, and then probably preserve that, and try and dehydrate the skins with the seeds together, and try and grind them up, and then compare the 2 differences versus, right, the skin by itself and the seed by itself, grind them up separately, then combine it, versus have everything together, dehydrate it, and try and grind it, and see what you get. So, anyway, that's what I'm gonna do. Oh my God, I'm stiff. Oh, but once I start moving around, you see, what the hell am I gonna be digging for when I can't even move? I'm moving like an old woman here. But, anyway. Okay, see that mess? So that's where we're at with the pond, April, since you asked last night, or this morning, or whatever it is. See, I was going to do this today, but it's cold, and it's getting late, and this takes like 3 hours to do just these ones. And I've got, what do we got? Yeah, has this side been done? What do we got? I don't know what I got. Has this side been done? No. No, so I have those two sides to do. This one's done. This one's done, so I can move this. And because I'm not making any more, right, I'm just using up what little bit of cement I have right now. I just have to stand that up. My son will move it. I can't pick it up. I'm going to bring out, I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm going to work in here. Get this corner figured out. This is where I'm going to put, see, I could bury this in. Well, this one's cracked. But I have another one around somewhere. Yeah, I'm kind of moving it over here. So I give myself 5 to 10 buckets of dirt out of here. I can't do no more than that. But I'm clearing this all out, taking this all out. This is heavy shit. Okay? There's my clay. Right? And we're going to sculpt out this area today. You can see my fern is dying. So I'll just figure out. I'll move those two rocks. Pull out those weeds. Because I don't know how to do this, people. I really don't. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. This is where I'm going to put some of the marble. So I can actually bring it out now so that we get a visualization of what we're kind of doing. There's that famous morning glory. So I'm going to start right here. I don't know if I can move that big ass rock. I can move that one. Not that one though. You see these things? You see 1, 2. So we got 1, 2. I figure like this, right? 3, 4, 5. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it will go up to here anyway. And then these boulders, you can see, they'll just go right in here. Because I have to make it raccoon proof, right? And then I can run a screen, although raccoons, they'll probably, I don't know. Oh, stupid raccoons. Okay, so I'll do that. I'll start with that. And then the birds, they actually do eat the seeds of these plants. So this can stay. It still has flowers, you can see. That's what I like about this one. This is late. Like, look at that. It's so pretty. If I had time, I'd press some of those for Andre's walnut art. Right. And, you know, see how much time I can trim this all back? You can see. Right. And my little pond. Looking nice. Right, it needs to be tidied up in here. Figure out maybe I might run that white little thing in the back that I want to cut in half. This is where I want to place it, right in here, so it helps to hold these ones up when they grow. Right? So that's what I'm going to do. Just work in this little area. That right in here. Okay, so now it is October 9th. I was washing rocks yesterday. In the end, right, I took out a little bit from there. You can see now it's kind of raining, but that's okay. It's not a heavy rain, and it's not cold. Here's my sweater. I'm looking for it. So anyway, I never did get that done. I'm thinking just to take that, because I can't lift that, right? And where am I going to put it? So I'm thinking I'm going to empty one anyway into the bottom of that, because that's deep enough. Because don't forget, this one here, that one can go all the way down. I'm going to see if I can find some. I don't want the camera getting wet. I'm going to go all the way down. That one can go down. Oh, what God. 5 feet, 4 feet. Right? It goes down really far. So when you take it right down to the bottom, right, in terms of emptying it out, but you see how that plastic is giving it a, it's holding it, right? So when you start taking out the sand and you placing it before you lay down your felt, you just take a utility knife and cut that and bring it level to the dirt. But ultimately, in the end, the center of where that white bucket is can go all the way down, deeper than what's there, right? So it would make sense to empty one of those and just have it at the very bottom, and then you put in a 1-inch sand, right? Lay down your felt and you're good to go. Now, being that it's raining, not that bad. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to focus on I'm just going to put this camera on me. See if there's any place I can put it. I'm trying to hide out from the rain. Right in the corner over here. Let's see. Wait. I have no place to put this. It's like a cell phone. Hold it like a cell phone, right? So I think what I'm going to do here, I made this long ass list. You know, just your standard business mailing envelope. Well, it starts at the top and it goes all the way down to the bottom. Because I have this individual coming by to do some repairs on these gutters. My landlady is wanting to change all the gutters, but that's not happening this year, right? So maybe he might be able to give an estimate as to what it would cost to repair them, like to replace them completely, right, next year. And then this year he'll just do a little patch up for me. So I wrote out this long list of things to do. Like the good old days with Jerry. I miss Jerry, yeah. Jerry would pick up the slack. And then when he picked it up for me, boy, he just gave it a good whoosh. And then boom, bam, bing, we got a beautiful greenhouse now, right? Now, mind you, Jerry wasn't the only person who worked on that greenhouse, but Jerry really, you know, he was the one that came in with the main frame, right? And then he did the roof, right, and whatnot. I had other men install windows and that kind of stuff. Ultimately, my son and I, we started it with the frame. Hey, we were pretty spot on with that frame too, right? Jerry built that shed, which I need to get into. And helped me to level the canopy on the hen house area, because that was crooked when the first batch crew guys came in and put that up there. They dragged it from the front all the way to the back. Had a little barbecue. I have video of that. So anyway, I wrote down this long list of things to do, and I don't know what he's capable of doing, but I'm going to see if maybe I can help, pay him, right, to help me just do some of this, like install the windows in the lettuce room, and maybe he's done a few ponds, and he's faster thinking on how to build in a little waterfall, for example. Like, I want a little waterfall in here somehow, some way, coming in behind the fern. Right, you see the fern here, but it's covered up. This fern is in a big tire tube. It's happy. So is this one, right? They're happy like that. I've got another big tire tube here for one more fern. I just haven't planted it yet. But maybe because he's a man, it's easy for him to pick up these rocks, place them where they need to be, so that, this filter can go in behind here, and we can get the water running, right, going through the filter, which at this point will just be a homemade filter. This is a YouTube moment, right? Okay? And being that I have lots of batting and what is that called? mattress foam and all that, right? I can either put it at the bottom of it after it runs through the lava rocks, or I could put it at the top, probably at the bottom, because you want it to collect, and then when you're ready to clean. However, no, that's not true. You'd probably do it from the first, and you wouldn't necessarily use a foam as you would more of a batting, right, to catch the crud, the larger pieces going through, and then when the water goes through the lava rocks, right, it comes out clean at the bottom of your, filter system. And that's the perfect size. But maybe this guy, maybe he's fast at drilling a hole in the plastic tub and installing the piping, right? Because, you have to be doing this kind of stuff all the time in order to be able to make it happen fast. If you're not used to doing it and you got to dig around looking for your tools and shit, now it's raining, it'll take me a month, 2 months, 3 months, next year, whereas I can say, hey, can you do that? And he'll, yeah, I can do that. Bring his tools, boom, bam, bing, it's done. System's all run, right? He's already got the waterfall going, because in his mind, he knows how to do it because he's done it a few times, right? And because he's stronger than me, it goes faster. So little things like that, right? I'm going to ask to see, maybe he might be able to help me move this along, right? So same thing with the lettuce room, right? If he can install those windows for me and do a subfloor faster than I can. See, that's the thing. Faster than I can, right? That would be like Jerry going in there and doing what Jerry has done over the years in his yard, And it brings in that balance. This is why it's so important that I don't even want to say society, people, but I kind of want to say humanity. Fuck the society, okay? It's a two-tiered society, right? I don't belong in that part of society. I belong with humanity, okay? There's a big difference, right? Draw the line in the sand. And that's the thing. People need to get in touch with those nucleus families where you have the male, the man, and the woman, the female, right? And each has their basic role within their relationship in order to make a household work. Okay? Now you see, the thing about this house is it's an actual household. When I moved in, I brought in a household with me, people. I had 9 people living in this house depending on me to feed them and to house them and to clean up after them. That part that I never get paid for, right? So, and over the years, we've had men crews through here do men jobs, right? I'm not trying to be Wonder Woman here. I can build this and I can do that, and no. I can't do these things. The only reason you see me doing them is because, if I want something, I have to work for it, and this is where you just fake the funk until you get kind of what you want, right? And if you're going through that process, for women that have husbands, this is what you want, right? For women like me that don't have husbands, well, then you pay guys to do it, right? So I'm going to see if maybe this guy can help me do some of the things that is difficult for me, but it could be done in I don't even want to say half the amount of time, because some of the stuff that takes me months to do, this guy could probably do in an hour, right? So that's what I'm going to do before winter kicks in. I want to see if he'll help me out with a few things around here, and then that will relieve the pressure cooker that I'm in always with this yard, right? Like the grapes, for example. I'm going to ask him, do you think you can run these grapes for me for next year? Because I want a better yield next year. Because 2 reasons. The urgent need right now is because I'm feeling insecurity within my own country, okay? All right, in terms of I don't know if I'm going to be able to buy groceries next year, because there might not be that many grocery stores, because our local politicians and federal politicians have gone completely bonkers, okay? And this is living in Canada, one of the best places on the planet to be. So how that works out, I don't know, outside of I've got this fully producing grapevine that's producing more and more grapes every year as more and more people are becoming hungry in my province. In my province. They're not feeling it right now, but if it gets down to a real nitty-gritty, right? In terms of the borderline middle class, not the middle class per se, but the borderline, right? They're not at the food banks yet, okay? See, my landlady, I think she has a little bit of forevision, right? At one point, it was marred, right? Kind of covered over, overcast, right? It was an overcast of something that wasn't necessarily good, right? She was marred at one point with the money associated with a house, right? It costs money. I said to the chimney guy just yesterday, I said, holy shit, I kind of starting to feel sorry for my landlady because, I got the furnace guy coming in saying, oh, well, it's past its 10-year life and, these things they only live for about 10 years and blah, blah, and it's going to be time to replace. And I'm like, oh, right? And then after he's done that, it's like the water tank and did you notice this? It's rusting, it's leaking, keep an eye on it. And they're only good for 6 years and that was put in 2012. And, so that's due. And then, we're looking at the gutters and, right? And we're looking at the fucking window in the back that's going to cost her almost $3,000. And like, I can understand why she'd want to sell this house. She can make $1.5 million on this house, people. Easy. And it's going to be a toss-up with the owners that live on this block because if they get 2 fucking houses, that's it. It's game over. It's game over because they have that political pull within the freaking city hall where they can go in, well, I've got 2 properties. This is what I want to build, right? And then he buys out everybody else or he builds what he wants, which doesn't accommodate anybody that is from this geographical area, basically, right? They have to come in from overseas in order to purchase it. Unless, of course, they come into a great, grand ICBC windfall, then they've got lots of money to buy something, right? But the majority of people out here, no. Doesn't work like that. 70% of property owners coming in, buying houses, come from overseas. So anyway, fast forward, now with the world the way it is, and my landlady is very family-oriented, likes to pass on the, I'd like to think anyway, outside of the money marring things, as any other family in Canada, whatever you accumulate over your lifetime, you want to pass it on to your children and your grandchildren. Leniency. Not being lenient, but lineagely. I don't even know how to say it right now. It's a lineage. It's your lineage, right? It's something that you pass on, right? So, with the economy going the way it is, and with the uncertainty of you can't even buy fucking canning jars and stupid shit like that, right? Those grapes in themselves are going to become priceless because they're going to feed people if it ever came down to that, right? And I think my landlady's kind of narrowed in on that, right? I mean, she doesn't have to live as long as some of us do, especially the young ones. So once she's gone, she don't have to worry, right? Nothing moves except you. Poof, you're gone. And everything else stays behind, right? Well, I think deep down in her heart, getting past the money, the $1.5 million and getting rid of the problem, I think just maybe one day those grapes might feed her grandkids because the grocery stores are like far and few in between. Assuming that they still have this house. Because if they sell this house, 1 owner, 2 owner, 3 owner, between the 3 owners, somebody's going to buy it to break up the block, to bring in these town road houses or fucking 5-story high-rises. And that's it. It's game over. Right? I mean, ultimately, it's going to come down to that. But, we're not there yet. And that's what I tell my landlords when they, the axe is coming and it's just a matter of time before the city puts pressure on us to sell. The city to put pressure on us to sell, right? So anyway, I'm going to ask him if maybe he can help me You know, because maybe he's done things with grapes before. Maybe he knows exactly what to do, and if he doesn't, I can tell him. I can suggest to him what needs to be done. And being that he's stronger, faster, quicker, right? Knows, right? He'll get it done. Boom, bam, bing, and he might even have a few tricks up his sleeve that will produce even more grapes, right? And if there's so many grapes that there's none that too many that my landlady and I don't want no more, then this is where we budget in a donation to somebody else, right? Whether it's somebody in your local neighborhood or she's giving it to somebody in her local neighborhood, right? Or we give it because we don't know. I'm telling you, we don't know how many grapes this vine can grow. And the thing about this corner house is they got grapes now growing in the front and they're getting bigger. They're not producing grapes yet. But if that owner keeps that house for the next 5 years, I can guarantee you they will have grapes in the front. So the bounty is tripled by that time. Tripled. And, so you got to think like that, right? Especially in this time and age. Now, I know I'm living on the edge and, it's one day at a time, blah, blah, blah. And it's, any investments I put into this property, once I leave, I get zero back in terms of dollars, right? So, but while you're here, this is where you just have to not be afraid to face the future. So anyway, that's just a bunch of babble, giggly, roo, boo, boo. So I am going to turn off the camera. I will upload when I go in. I will probably get back out there and continue just tidying up those buckets because I'm in the middle of washing rocks. I'll show you. I'll empty out at least one of those buckets to the bottom, or I could honestly empty out 2 and then put at the very, I don't know. No, I'm just going to empty out 1 for now. I don't stress myself out. Just empty out the 1 because we don't know exactly how we're sculpting it yet, right? See, I'm going to tidy up this stuff, right? Right? I'm going to do the rabbit hutch up on top. That's what I'm going to a little bit work on. Yeah. See? I'm washing rocks. Like I got rocks in my head. Now you see, I'm going to end it on this note. This is the thing about rocks. Look at those beautiful rocks, right? People pay good money for rocks like that. There's people out in the world that wish they had rocks like that just to be able to grow something. Okay? There's so many things that you could do with rocks, especially when they're nice and clean and they're calling you, right? But when they're dirty and grimy and gooey and, and the city comes along and they see a bucket of gooey rocks, they go, ooh, it's garbage, right? So, if you keep them like that, though, they can't come in and call it garbage because they know that if they had a little garage sale, they make mad money on those rocks. But you have to clean them in order to trick them so they don't take them away from you. That's what I'm fighting for, fucking rocks in the rain. Hey, what do you think about that? Seriously. So I just finished tidying up in here, move these out of the way. If you notice, I'm being incognito with my colors because the city doesn't like colors. I know what the city likes, right? The city doesn't like colors. So if you blend in neutral colors into your stash, they don't necessarily find that to be a national threat, right? So look at these beautiful, beautiful walnut trees. Oh, see, those other ones are gone, right? So I have to bring in some new ones, right? This needs to be cut back. Oh, this pond is just going away. This is such a cute little pond. I've had no problems with it for a few months now. Yeah, it's great. Looking really good. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to work out here, tidy up. This is garbage. You can see I'm pulling out things. Now you see, here's my problem. I can tell you exactly what my problem is. Oh yeah, and that's another thing. Maybe this guy knows how to run lights, right? Just basic, get me going, right? Fast, boom, right? So what takes me 5 days will take him 3 hours, right? Something like that. That's. I'm so hoping this guy can do this. Because if he can do this, it'll be like with Jerry in the good old days, getting things done around here. And I guess I'll leave it on this note. outside of talking about this, people need to start coming back into their nucleus households, right? They gotta, you know, with all this social distancing and don't have sex, and if you do, do it between fucking walls, and just like lunacy, right? I mean, like, just to visualize, like, who would even think to put your butt up against a fucking wall with a hole in it so somebody can come out on the other side of the wall and do that? Like, I read that on more than one website, people. Like, that's just asinine, okay? That is like a mental fucking illness. That's worse than a fetish, all right? But with all this social distancing and, you know, have sex with masks on, and like they're fucking with your psyche, right? You know, they're trying to break up that nucleus family, and they've been doing it for a long, long time through that manufactured poverty. Okay, so anyway, don't fall for that. Okay, right? Connect with the opposite sex and work together as a team, because it really does help. Even if you have to pay your friends or people that you hire randomly do something else, but maybe can help you with something else too, because they're more knowledgeable and skillful at it, and it helps you to be a better person on the things that you need to focus on as a woman, right? In terms of, like, you know, doing inside stuff, because if I'm outside, inside falls apart for me, right? If I'm inside, outside falls apart for me, right? So, okay, now here's my problem. This is my problem. I'm ready to. I got this, okay? This here, hold on. Let me do it this way. This here was over there. I cleaned up this area so this guy can come up and climb up there, and so I cleaned up this area, you can see, right? And in what was here was tile that I'm going to use for mosaic art after the fact, which will maybe be next year, right? We'll figure something out. Before I chuck it, we'll try and do some mosaic stuff with it. And I got different pieces, different sizes, the whole 9 yards. Anyway, the tile was sitting in this, and at one point it was a basket. But you can see that the roping fell apart, right? It's biodegrading. Okay, fair enough. Oh my God, I lost my glasses. Don't tell me I lost my glasses. Please, please, please. I get so absent-minded. Sometimes I take off my glasses, I put them down, and I don't know where the fuck I put them. Oh my God, I lost my glasses, people. You notice, I just noticed it now. Oh, here they are. They're on the ground. They're getting all scratched up now. Okay. Anyway. If you look at it, it's not even really that rusted. Most people would throw it away. I would be told, it's garbage, because it's dirty. Like those rocks. They're dirty, so they become garbage and an excuse to, you know what. Once you clean them up, though, people start thinking how much they can sell them for a bag. Or how they can use them to decorate whatever it is that they're doing in their own damn yards, before they would give you the credit for cleaning them. So, in light of that, I'm looking at this now. Now, when I'm trying to clean up the yard, right? And I'm being hounded on to clean up the yard. Okay, I came across this. Now, at first sight, it looks like garbage, doesn't it? I'd say so. Right? Most people would remind me of that, and then make me feel guilty for not throwing it out. Whereas, if I listen to myself and do the right thing, being that I'm a frugal person, right, and I value things in life, even dusty old dirty old basket frames that is actually made out of metal, which is in itself unique and durable, and that's the point, it's durable. Even if it was rusted, you could give it a quick sand, oil it down, and it would be good to have that frame for whatever it is that you can, you build another basket, right? If it was a basket once before, it can be a basket again, right? Or you could make a nice lampshade with this. If you look at it, you could put in if you knew how to stained glass. If you knew how to do stained glass, you could do stained glass on this, and make a really nice little lampshade. So there you go. For something that I was going to throw out, you've seen it in the pile, you're my witness, I was going to chuck it out. It's a good thing I didn't throw it in the garbage the next day, because I would have forgot about it. But I left it there because, you know, I was washing rocks, kids got in, whatever. The chimney guy came, that's what happened. Chimney guy came, distracted me, I forgot about it. And the kids came home, and then now you just see me find it again, and I'm ready to clean up. But I've decided I am not throwing this out. Nope, 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 because this is a really nice frame. Really nice. Can you tell I'm avoiding going out there and moving around? Just hanging out in the rain, in the corner. In the corner of the house. Anyway, I'm going to keep that. I'll wash it. Right? I'll wash it. Spray it down. And then I'll decide at a later date when I'm not so busy what I can do. So I'm going to leave this for now. I am just going to empty probably... I could empty the white one, because this green one is a neutral color, right? And it doesn't draw attention. The white one, the orange one, fluorescent green, right? So I'm still debating on this too. Okay, let me get back to what I was doing. Okay, so I'm done for today. Soaking wet, people. I got some issues going on. Anyway, this is what I've done. Emptied out a few buckets. Okay, cleaned off this. You can see, right? It's raining. Started cleaning out the rabbit hutch. Tomorrow I'll come back out and give it some, what do you call it? Hay in there. There's a hay, but it needs more. Anyway, I'm turning this off now. Okay, people, so here's what's happening. I can't even get one good day in the yard without fucking drama. Seriously. Anyway, it's pissing rain. It was raining all day. By the time I came in, you could wring out my clothes and you'd get a big pile of water. That's how wet I was. So now it's 7 o'clock in the evening. Right? The kerfuffle is all calmed down, as far as I know. Right? So what I'm going to do now is, I don't got time to sit here and pick each and every individual grape. I've already expressed that in this video. I'm just finishing up this video with this to show you what I'm doing now. Okay? Anyway, so I got this, and I got a big ass bowl in the fridge, and I'm putting it all into one pot. And I'm going to cook it up, and then I'm going to strain it, and then I'm going to strain it again. I'm going to strain it a few times. I figure maybe 3 times. Do you see all that pulp at the bottom of that jar? You can see. Right? I'm going to see if I can remove that somehow, some way, and just get straight up juice and nothing but juice. And then the pulp, what I'll do is I'll take some of those apples that I have downstairs in Auntie ShaMay's fridge, and I'll cook them up, right, and juice them, get 1 more jar of juice, and then I'll take the pulp and I'll mix it in with the apple, and then I'll make a fruit leather, and then that's going to be, but mind you, there's more grapes coming, right, 1 more batch of grapes, okay, right, no matter what others have to say, right, because they got their shit so much more together than I do, okay. Everybody's got always something to fucking say. Right? If I had 25 arms, boy, life would be grand. So, they've been in this. Now, I washed them when I put them in here, but they've been in the fridge for a few days. So, I'm just going to pick them off, give them a quick rinse, throw them in the pot. I'm going to do that with each and every grape. It will be right up to the top. And cook them up. I'm going to strain them, put them in the fridge, and then try and strain them again, right, just so that I get that, and that's what I'm going to do.